YouTube, this is Felicia with Bible Scraps, and boy, I hope I'm recording. I'm going to have to stand up, make sure that I'm recording because I was filming away, got like 15 minutes into it, decided to check on the camera, and it was not recording. I think because the audio recording and I had it on pause, so I'm thinking that's why, but I don't know. But how is everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a trying week, I tell you, but God is able. God is good. Glory be to Jesus Christ, people. Thank God for faith. And I want to encourage any of you, no matter what you are going through, do not forgo your faith, people. Get in God's presence with prayer. If need be, get in his presence with fasting, for he loves you. He cares for you. And I've been praying, I've been fasting, and being encouraged by the word of God. Truly, worrying won't change anything. Like Jesus states, worry can't add an hour to your life. It can't change anything. But when you believe, when you have faith, when you pray, when you fast, that is what changes things, right? Because our faith, just like God's word is alive and active, our faith, it's alive, it's active, it's something that's happening when you believe. You just got to trust, you just have to rest, and you have to stay in God's presence. So I encourage all of you, if you have not tried God or if you have tried God, continue to try him and stay before him. Now, this video I'm super excited about. Yay! And shout out, I don't want to say your name. Oh, if I might get it right, but I'm not going to try to. So I'm going to have her name flashing on the screen. Shout out to you. Okay, a week or two ago, I shared a video of my first shopping lot from Rubbernecker of African American stamps. Rubbernecker has been around for a long time, and it took me a long time to place my first order. So happy I got it in, you guys. But anyway, I shared that haul, and oh, I almost want to say her name, but I'm going to mess it up. She left a comment on that video, and she stated that she had recently shared a video of a company that carries African American stamps. So I promptly went over, checked out her video, and I was blown away. Blown away for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, I recognized one of the images that she shared, and I thought, I have that image. But I got my image from Dandy Images. Now, those of you who have followed me, you know several years ago, I shared my African American stamp display from Dandy Images, who unfortunately is no longer in business. And in that video, it was bittersweet. I talked about all that, so I won't get into that here. But I had gotten the same image from Dandy Images. But here she was showcasing this stamp along with others from another stamp company. And I'll talk more about that a little later if I don't forget. But anyway, I was so happy because some of the images that she shared, I had seen over the years on Google Images. Because I have been searching, well, let me back up for a second. I've been crafting since 2004. So since then, I have spent, people like many of you, thousands of dollars on crafts. And if you have been following me, and if you've seen certain videos, I have talked about spending all that money, but having so little of anything, whether it's scrapbooking paper, rubber stamps, dies, so little of anything represents me as an African American. So a lot of what I have purchased, I can't relate to. A lot of it I can because it's generic, but when it comes to anything specific, I can't relate to it. And that really has affected how I craft. Because if I'm working on a layout and I'm working with stickers and images that don't look like me or the people in my family, how can I really capture the essence of the story? So I've talked about that in certain videos over the years. However, I am seeing a shift. Yeah, there's a shift going on. I know there's a lot in the atmosphere right now in the world concerning racial issues and racial sensitivity, racial justice and things like that. But I do sense a shift in the crafting industry. And it started before this pandemic, but it has intensified because I'm coming across like Copic, and I don't know how long they've been doing tutorials actually using African American images to illustrate how to color African American skin tones, but I'm seeing a whole lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of creators, I shouldn't say a lot, but I'm seeing more creators incorporate multicultural and African American images in their artwork, and that's a great thing. And I do have a special Craft Back and Relax video coming your way. That's a series I started several years ago, and it had been a couple years since I did another video. My last Craft Back and Relax video was Easter, actually, and that's where I come to you guys like face to face, right? And you guys really do enjoy those videos. Well, I have a special edition coming your way really soon. And in that edition, I am going to share my experience as an African American crafter. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. I think we ought to have a discussion. We ought to talk about that. Though I've talked about it a little bit here and there, I'm going to dedicate that video talking about my experience as an African American crafter. And I also have a special debut, something I've had for 10 years, and I don't recall ever giving a official, I don't think I've officially, I can't think of the word I want to say, debuted it, I guess, but I think my special edition Craft Back video is the perfect it's the perfect video and the perfect way to debut whatever I'm going to debut. Okay, you guys, so I'm excited. I'm excited because these stamps I am going to showcase are still available. When I searched over the years, I would see these images on Google. Sometimes the links were no longer available, but I never got a link back to where these images could be purchased. So I just assumed they were discontinued images, hard to find, difficult to find. Thank you once again to her name, which is flashing across the screen. So I'm going to share my shopping lot. I'm also going to share the stamp out images, and then I'm going to do a short tutorial showcasing how I mounted these stamps, and also going to have a little bit of chit chat. How about that? Okay, so the name of this company, I am so excited. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. Oh, yeah. Okay, enough of me, right? Enough of my shenaniganism. So the name of this company is Stampland. And you know what? I know Stampland, or I have come across them. I've been on their website, or I don't remember these images I'm going to share with you guys. And once again, the funny thing is, one of the images they share, I got from Dandy Images. But the name of their company is Stampland, and I love this hand, which I'm sure is available as a stamp. We all know that hand, right? That's a big one. I might go back and pick that one up. I like that. And they're based out of Tennessee, Knoxville. So happy these images are still available, you guys. Okay, so let's get started with some of the images. Love, love, love. Okay, this one here. I've come across this beautiful lady for years. Didn't know she was still available. I thought the only way to get her was from eBay or Etsy, a D-stash, something like that. But nope, she is available. Okay, so when you order these stamps, for some of the stamps, you may have options. You may have an option to buy just the plain red rubber, and you're looking at a stamp here. I'll share her image a little later. You might have the option to have cling, which I made my own cling, and I'm going to share that tutorial in this video. Or you may have an option of having your stamp mounted onto wood block, and I'm going to share one a little later in the video. I opted for just the plain rubber. I'm accustomed to these types of stamps. Back in the year, I used to order sheets of these. Now you do have to cut these yourself, right? Let me grab out, if I can find it now. Okay, this isn't the one, but, oh, it might be. No. Okay, but anyway, this is the excess rubber that I cut out, and you see the words cut out. The manufacturer wrote that there. It's real easy. You take your scissors and regular scissors and you just cut around your image. Okay, so that's how my images came. And she is so beautiful. I was so excited to procure her. Another image is this image here. Beautiful. And you guys, these images are huge. Now, there might be different sizes available. I believe if they're not available, they used to be different sizes available. And I must tell you, when you go to the website, their website is dated. It's old school. I remember back when when I first got on the internet, how their website looked is how they looked back then. Nonetheless, you will be able to make a purchase, but you'll see what I'm talking about when you head over there. And I do encourage you all that care to pick up African American stamps. You guys get them, because you never know when a company will close up shop, when images will be discontinued. You just never know what will happen, and you know how difficult it is to find anything African American in the crafting industry, though there's a shift, right? Thank God for digital work, because there is a lot of African American digital artwork. I, however, like having the hard copy. I like having stamps. I like having dies and stickers. So with the stamp, you don't need a printer. You can use any color ink you like, and you could just sit in one place and craft. But thank God for digital artwork as well. Okay, this image here. Oh my goodness. See, I've seen her. I have seen her. Beautiful. And what I love about these images, they're beautiful. They're lovely illustrations of an era gone. I do a lot of African American history. I do a lot of searches looking for African American ephemera and things like that. I've talked about it in many videos. And one of the search phrases I use is Black Americana. And if you use that search term, you will get listings of a lot of things antique that quote unquote pertain to African American culture. However, those images, the things that come up, they're derogatory, demeaning, they're exaggerated illustrations of African American people. Nothing I would want to use in my crafting, which is why I have a series that I started several years ago, and I normally come out with videos in February, which celebrates African American history. And for 2 years straight, I have shared a video sharing my vintage African American paper dolls, because in my quest to find beautiful and lovely depictions of antique and vintage African Americans, I ended up in that field of vintage African American paper dolls, which I didn't even know existed. So I have quite the collection now. I also got into vintage African American magazines. So this year, I shared a video. Did I share a video of my vintage ebony magazines? Because in those magazines, you can find you can find beautiful images of African American people. And I, in return, use those images in my journals, in my crafting, right? Because it's been so difficult to find African American representation in crafts today, though things are slowly changing, like everywhere. But this is a vintage African American paper doll. Isn't she beautiful? Now, her dress is authentic, but I copied the actual doll itself. So I have a couple videos on the African American vintage paper dolls. I have videos showcasing my African American rubber stamps. I also, yes, new this year, I shared a video in my series sharing vintage African Americans on sewing patterns. Did I say that correctly? I have a vast collection of vintage sewing patterns, and I collect many different types, but I'm on the hunt for African Americans that showcased on sewing patterns. So I shared a video there. The point is, I've been looking in different fields, different ways. I've become very creative in searching and acquiring African American images to incorporate in my crafting. Okay, so let's take a look, you guys, at these images that I have already stamped out. Take a look at these girls. They're beautiful. Now, I stamped these images out. These are the first stamp. Whenever you use red rubber stamps, you do have to condition them. And conditioning just means that you apply your ink, stamp. Apply your ink, stamp. So you do some practice stamps. I didn't do any practice stamping. These are the first stamps. And for the first impression, they look really good. But they will look better after I condition my stamps. The more you use your red rubber stamps, the better impressions, the crisper impressions, the more detailed impressions you get. So they might look stained, but they look better. But these girls are beautiful because they're beautiful representations of not just vintage, but they have an antique flair to them. Love, 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 and once again, love the size. Okay, so I got those three. And then I got this image here, which we are going to stamp together. I don't think I've ever, if I saw her, I don't know if I had seen her before. So she might be new to me. But these three images over the years, I do remember, especially her, because I used to always think I would love to get my hands on her. As a matter of fact, I used to think she was a photograph, and she probably more than likely came from an antique photograph, but I don't think I ever knew she was actually a stamp. Okay, so let's ink up this lovely girl here. And I'm using Fun Stamper's Journey ink. You can use any ink you like. That's one of the joys of stamping, is because there's so many different ink colors and types of ink. You can do so much. And you could see she comes to life, right? Okay, I was wondering if I should have cut off this part, but that part was just plain rubber. If you leave too much of just plain rubber, it can stamp out with your image. So it's a good idea to cut off your excess rubber. Okay, so I'm using this black foam underneath. We normally use these when using the acrylic or photopolymer stamps, but I do like to use them too when I'm using red rubber, especially if I'm not using a block. And in this case, I'm not. With these larger stamps, you don't have to use a block, though I will in the video. Okay, so this is the first impression. She did not come out as clear as these three, but once again, I do need to condition her because I've seen images of her online and she's really pretty. And the manufacturer offers two versions of her. There's one that's, I think, a closer up view of her. You know, let's stamp her out again, because you can see her there. I love having images in my stash that reflect my culture, that reflect women and men in my family. And by the way, you guys, I have another shopping lot coming of African American stamps. A site I had never heard of before, never seen before, and surprised I hadn't come across this person before. I'm like, in all my searching, how is it? Well, you know, it also depends on how products are tagged. If they're not tagged, oh, I messed that one up. But you can see her face is clearer, but I did smear it right here. So we'll stamp her out again. If products are not tagged as ethnic or African American, it can be hard to find those images. So I do have another. I placed my order yesterday. So hopefully sometime next week, this order will come in. And guess what, you guys? Just this morning. I kid you not. This morning. Oh my goodness. I tell you, this whole search business is the business, right? I came across a company that has a line of African American stamps. And once again, had never heard of that company, never seen anybody use the stamps. And I'm like, how did I not know about this? So I have yet to place my order. I have my shopping cart. I'm searching their website. Okay, and I smeared that one too. But I'll stamp her out again in this video using a block because I keep on moving her. But you can see from the first image how her face, it's more detailed. So it gets better as, you know, as you stamp. Okay, alrighty. And then, let's see, 4 images. I think we're down. Okay, there's 2 more images. There's one image I did not buy because I already had it. And I'm going to share that image last. But this next image, oh my goodness. I love it because it's of an African American man. And overall, men, there's not a whole, in comparison to women, there's not a lot of man stamps out there, especially the African American man, right? Or African American boy. But this, I had never seen, I don't recall ever seeing this image before. If I did, I thought it was a picture. So this is one whole image. You would think you would cut around there, but that's all texture. Let me quickly share how you can mount, create your own cling. I have several different ways that I've shared in previous videos, but in this way, I'm using 2mm. This is adhesive foam, but the sticky is no longer activated, which is a-okay. So what I'm going to do is place the rubber, and you see the scissors cut right through the rubber. I am going to cut around the perimeter, just like so. As close to the rubber as possible, but be careful that you do not cut into your design. You could keep this and use it to add dimension to your card layers. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, you guys, I love this tape. I've been using this tape, I don't know, for a while now. I'm going to link this below if I don't forget. People, I love it. It's double stick. This will last a lifetime. And I love it when I'm using oversized products. I'm calling this stamp oversized. But I'm placing the stamp right on my double stick adhesive. I'm using Tim Holtz scissors. I do have a pair of scissors that's tape resistant. These aren't, to my knowledge, but they get the job done. Once again, I'll have this link below. And I'm just going to cut around, cut off this excess tape, just like so. You might have to peel back the tape from your scissors. Once again, if you have a tape resistant pair of scissors, use those. Use whatever you have. Whatever that will get the job done. Okay, and then now what I'm going to do is peel back the liner just like that. And then peel back the liner from the foam. And look, there's no sticky whatsoever. So the sticky has, I guess, dried up. And you're going to stick these together. Just like that. Now I have the actual, I have several sheets of the rubber stamp foam cling that you can buy. But you can make it yourself too. And this tape should hold the two together. But this is the first time I've used this tape with this process, so I can't guarantee it'll stay stuck together, but it's worth, I think it will. And this is how the finished image looks. Now, how I'm going to store these, if I want to, I can go in and add a cling to the back, and I do have a tutorial. I have a couple tutorials over the years, but for me, I'm going to leave these just like this. Okay, so let's stamp out. Let's stamp him out. Love, love, love. Okay. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to use a stamp block for him because I'm going to show you guys something. And you see how he comes to life? Look at that. He comes to life. Love, love, love him. So happy these images are still available. Once again, get them because you don't know how long they will be available. Okay, what I've done, I have this large clear block and I added, and I've been using like this method for years. I added this double stick removable tape, double-sided tape to the block. And what I'm going to do here, I should have did this before. I should have applied the rubber to the block before, just so I can get it to stick. But I'll do it like this. And I'm going to use the block to stamp him out. If you want to use a block. I'm going to bring this closer to me so I can press. This is a large, oversized stamp. So I want it, and this is my first impression. I want to make sure I get all of the area. And look, that's not a bad impression to be the first impression. Look at that, you guys. Look at that. Love, love, love it. Oh my goodness. And once again, huge. Let's take a ruler. This image is about 4.25. So 3.5 by 4.25, approximate. Isn't that nice, you guys? Love, love, love. And he has a vintage look to him too. So these are more than likely actual, I'm going to assume actual images, probably copy free, royalty free, what is it called, images, antique images rather, except for her. She might be an actual photograph of someone. Then again, it could be a designer's, their own artwork. But I love these images. Okay, there is one other image, and for some reason I think I got every African American stamp available, or I could have missed one or two, so I might have to go back and place another order. But there is one other image, and this is the image that I when I saw her video, I thought, I have that image. And yes, I had the image. Okay, I am looking inside of my, uh-oh, it's a mess. Alrighty, actually, there's 2 images, but I don't know. Okay, I'm going to start here. You guys are looking at a mounting board filled with African American or African stamps from Dandy Images. This image here is available on Stampland's website. I don't know if the YouTuber had this stamp in her video, but it is available on the website. I already had it, so I didn't get it. But the image, this other image, okay, look. So when I saw her video, I'm like, yeah, I got that image. And you know what? We are going to stamp that image out right now. Some of you guys might be guilty of what I'm going to share. Because we shop, we have, we have so much. It's hard to know and remember what we actually have. So we end up with duplicates, right? And that's what happened to me. So this is the image that, oh, I don't have ink everywhere. She is so beautiful. I forgot, well, when I saw her in the video, I recognized her. And I'm like, I think I have her. Because sometimes you get confused. You might see a thing so much, you might think you have it when you actually don't. So I had to look in my stash, and I found her. Now, I do know for a fact, and she is beautiful. Look at that. She is available in different sizes. In the video I watched, she was shown in a larger size, this size here. So isn't she gorgeous? So she's available. Now here's the thing, you guys. So I was looking through my rubber stamps, and I found that stamp. And I kept looking. And where is it? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I kept looking and found that I had another one of these stamps, which I can't seem to find right now, right? So I have 2 of these images. Mind you, I already had mine, but once again, Stampland has at least the larger version available. And then I remembered I had purchased a wood-mounted stamp. And I looked through my collections, which I'm looking at right now on the Hobby Lobby stamp hutches. I have 2 of them facing me right now. I looked up and down because I kept remembering having a stamp that I didn't think it was of her. I thought it was of another image I had seen. So I kept looking and kept looking and kept looking. Actually, the image that I was looking for, it was a defective stamp. I had purchased it from eBay, got it, stamped it out, and I mean, you couldn't tell what it was. And that particular eBay seller did not want to refund me my money. She's like, well, you bought it. And I'm like, well, you didn't say it was defective. A lot of times sell stamps, they don't actually stamp out the image to see if it's a workable image. And in this case, she hadn't did it. But eBay did refund my money. I had to go through a whole dispute thing. But I remembered keeping the block. So I was actually looking for the block to that stamp. And people, this is what I came across. I found this stamp, which I didn't even know I had. Right? Now, this was a new stamp. This was not the defective stamp. So I have yet to find that one. But I found this. This is the same image of this girl. So I didn't know I had 2 images of her. And I definitely did not know I had this large stamp of her. Let's stamp her out. Now, I don't know, if Stampland offers her on a wood block. They might, or they just might offer her as rubber. And I don't know in what sizes. Well, they might offer her just in this one size. You got to check each stamp to see. You might want to email them too if you have more specific questions. But yeah, I got 3 of the same images in 2 different sizes. Okay, let's stamp her out. She's a gorgeous. Like all of these images are. Okay, that's a light impression because I didn't apply enough ink, but you know how she looks here. But yeah, she's a gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Totally. I don't remember purchasing this stamp, so I don't know how long I had it. And it says Stampland right there. So this is a wood-mounted stamps. Remember, some stamps you might be able to purchase wood-mounted, or maybe cling, or just the plain red rubber. All right, you guys. Be on the lookout because I have, well, I'm going to place an order today or tomorrow for this latest website. I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't know it existed. I still have to place another rubbernecker order. And then there's come across over the, well, I've seen images over the years, but once again, couldn't pinpoint what company manufactured them. And so now I have pinpointed. I got several more African American rubber stamp shopping lots to bring your way. And I have a Pinterest board where I'm keeping all of my African American stamps, even those I haven't purchased yet. I might make that board public. I still have to add a lot to it because I think it's important to know what's out there. I do remember back in the early part of the internet and when crafting really became popular, we had message boards, and message boards was a good place to go to ask a question and get a lot of different responses. But we don't do message boards today. So Pinterest, I guess, would be the way to go. Now, if you guys know of companies that have a selection of anything African American, please leave the link. Leave a video, leave the information in a comment below. If you have enjoyed this video, why not like it? Give me a big thumbs up. Feel free to share this video. And yeah, let's all keep each other in the know. Let's share information. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope you have liked this video. I hope you have found it informative and beneficial. Remember, come back because I have a special edition of Craft Back and Relax, and I have more African American rubber stamp shopping hauls to bring your way. All right, you guys, I want to thank you all for watching. As always, blessings!